Good morning. Today we're going to work on multiplying and dividing fractions. I have 1/2 times 5/6, or you might have seen this as half of 5/6. A lot of times that's how we see it in word problems. So both ways are correct to read it. And I'm going to show you before the algorithm a visual of how this problem works. I'm going to take the second fraction, the 5/6, and I'm going to make my illustration, which means I'm going to color in 5 of the 6 boxes. Now I'm going to look at this next piece, the 1/2. The denominator tells me that I need to take each of my pieces and split them into 2. And think of this as you're having a party and you had planned on 6 people, but now more people have shown up, and as more people show up, you cut the cake into more and more pieces. So we're going to split each of these into 2. So here we go. And so now I have created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 slices of cake. Okay? The 1/2 tells me 1 out of every 2 slices I'm going to eat. So I'm going to eat this piece, but not this piece. I'm going to eat this piece, but not this one. I'm going to eat this one, but not this one. I'm going to eat this one, but not this one. I'm going to eat this one, but not this one. I ate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 12 of the slices of cake. Okay, let's look at another example. 2/3 of 3/4, or 2/3 times 3/4. I'm going to start with my illustration. 1, 2, 3, 3 out of 4. And remember that this 2/3, the denominator 3, tells me that I'm going to cut it into 3 slices. So I'm going to take this piece of cake and I'm going to cut it into 3 slices. I'm going to take this piece and cut it into 3 slices. Cut this one into 3 slices and cut this one into 3 slices. Now, if you were paying attention, you remember that the 2 tells me that I'm going to eat 2 out of every 3. So I'm going to eat this slice, and I'm going to eat this slice, but I'm going to leave that for somebody else. I'm going to eat this slice and eat this slice and leave this for somebody else. I'm going to eat this one and leave this one alone. I ate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slices. 6 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 out of 12 slices. And now we could reduce this, but we're going to leave it alone for right now. And let's look at the next example. This is a different way to see this illustration. 2/3 times 5/6. Again, I'm going to start by coloring in. So 2/3. Actually, let me switch to pink. There we go. And 5/6. And for this one, I'm going to use the highlighter. So 5/6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6 slices. And let me go ahead and group my items. So that one's grouped together, and I'm going to group this one together. Okay, so when we multiply, we're kind of grouping and combining items together. So I'm going to overlap. And so if we look at the section that overlaps, and let me pick a slightly lighter color for under here. Let's see if yellow will work a little better for us to see. Yes, there we go. All right, so we want to see where the colors come together. So my pink and my yellow kind of mix together to make orange. Okay, so now we need to count the slices. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 slices. So we have 18 slices. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them overlapped. 10 over 18. Now, as we've been going along through these problems, we had originally 1/2 times, 1/2 times 5/6, and the answer was 5/12. And now we have this problem, 2/3 times 5/6, and my answer is 10 over 18. Do you notice a pattern? I'll give you a second to think about it. Hopefully you notice that 2 times 5 is 10, and 3 times 6 is 18. 1 times 5 is 5, and 2 times 6 is 12. That is the algorithm, and that'll make things much easier, but I wanted you to see visually why it worked. So from now on, you know that numerator times numerator gives me my new numerator when I'm multiplying, and denominator times denominator gives me the new denominator, and then I can reduce from there. Okay, let's look at another problem. Now we're getting into division. 3 halves divided by 1 half, and this is slightly different. Let me give you a visual of this. 3 halves, so I have 3 halves, and this is asking how many halves are there in 3 halves? There are 1, 2, 3. There are 3 1/2s in 3 1/2. And that might be a little bit confusing. So let me make the problem a little bit easier. Let's talk about the word inverse. Inverse. When you get to algebra, you talk about inverse operations. And an inverse is also like another word I'm hoping you remember, reciprocal. Reciprocal. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to jump ahead and give you the algorithm to make it a little bit easier. Division, I can use the inverse operation of division, which is multiplication. So I'm going to keep my first fraction, which is 3 over 2, and I'm going to change division to multiplication. But when I switch to multiplication, I need to use my reciprocal of 1/2. Okay, and the reciprocal, think of it as standing on your head. The reciprocal, we're going to flip. My denominator is going to become my numerator is going to become my denominator. So 1/2 was my original. My reciprocal is 2 over 1. And now it's just a multiplication problem, which you've just finished learning. So 3 times 2 is 6, and 2 times 1 is 2, so 6 over 2, and when I simplify that, I get 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's look at the next example. 3/4 divided by 1/2. So remember, we always keep the first fraction. So we're going to copy that. Let me copy it correctly. 3/4. I'm going to change to the inverse operation. So the opposite of dividing is multiplying. And then I'm going to use my reciprocal. And you might have heard your teacher say copy, change, and flip. So my little fraction is going to do a flip. So 1 over 2 becomes, let's flip it, 2 over 1. We're flipping locations. And that becomes 6/4. Okay? For the MSA, unless it's multiple choice, 6/4 for a grid-in is acceptable. We don't want to do a mixed number because the computer cannot read mixed numbers. If my answer was 1 1/2 and I tried to grid it in and I did 1, 1, fraction bar 2, the computer doesn't understand it. It reads it as 11 over 2. So we're going to keep it improper. I hope this video helped you.